know where Michelle Obama grew up.
That's right.
So we know something, right? Having had that experience. And for you to do that song, wonderful song, and I remember when Dr. King came to Chicago.
That's right.
And we did some marching. Jesse Jackson came with him and had Operation Basket on Saturday mornings.
Right.
We did the work that Dr. King was inspiring all of us. And it's so fitting that in this service, this is your 5th anniversary. You are taking off, and you are doing the work that has been inspired in you and the likes of people like Dr. King, because he left us such a legacy of remembrance of who we are, which is why we're here and why we come to spiritual centers. So as Stevie Wonder is writing those words and asking that question, do those places exist, or do we have to take our wings and go fly somewhere else to have this beautiful thing called unconditional love?
Yes.
And it's right here in this room, right now, in this place. Absolutely so. So I feel it. Do you feel it?
Yes!
And on this 5th anniversary, happy anniversary, by the way. I want you to celebrate. This is the second time I had a 5th anniversary of a spiritual center, Reverend Coco. You'll know that. Remember Agape's 5th anniversary?
Wow.
It seems way back, a long time ago. And we, like you, we were smaller than we are now. But we were caught up in the energy of unconditional love and the spirit of a vision that was so profound, it didn't let us go, and we didn't want to be let go. And as we came together in community, we found new friends, new families, new ways of being. We found that we were accepted wholeheartedly without any conditions placed upon our acceptance. All were welcome. And just like we, you, Soul Center, OC, all are welcome. Look around and just see the beauty of the welcoming. Not everyone is looking alike. We love that.
That's right. That's
right. Thank you. Give yourself an applause for that. So we're the living embodiment of the words of Dr. King, as well as Stevie Wonder's song, so beautifully sung to us this morning. My talk, and give me a sign, because you know I can get carried away, so give me a 2. And I got 2 minutes to wrap up. And so the title is about empowerment coming from your endowment. And what I want to leave you with, because it's your 5th anniversary, and some of you it's your first time joining, to remember this always, that you are endowed. You know what that means? Endowed. You might have heard it as it relates to chairs in the university or something like that. Or you might have heard it for foundations, you know, endowment funds. I would hear that. But as a young girl, I heard it spoken by adults. Usually when a nice woman went by, oh, she's well endowed. Somebody said, oh, I didn't know what, yeah, brick house and all that. I didn't know what that meant. But endowed has 2 meanings, and they both fit, us individually and us collectively. One of the meanings is that you are seriously, permanently funded.
Yes.
Another meaning is that you have within you talents, gifts, and things of that sort, faculties, qualities. So both of those meanings are appropriate. The faculties and qualities that you have and you recognize, or if you don't, today I want you to recognize you're endowed with certain qualities and certain creativity, certain gifts, certain talents. You guys know that, right?
That's right.
And you're the living out your endowment. We love that. What is often left is the endowment of permanent funding. People get off. And I've heard people say to me, students in fact, well, I don't know, I'd love to take the class, but I'm on a fixed income. And my answer is, who fixed it? He's endowed, the student who said that. There were two men, by the way, who said that to me. Different times. They were not aware that there is endowed in each and every one of us, as the readings would suggest today. There is a source in us that's permanent. If you want to fix anything, fix on that source. That's the God presence that created you, out of which you live, move, and have your being, and nothing and no one exists but that. There's an emanation coming from the great Creator. I love what Reverend Keith said in his prayer about the power and the presence that creates stars and novas and universes and takes them away too. And an immense thing about it is, I don't know one person walking around with 2 legs that could have that kind of power to keep everything moving and growing and flowing, and then has time for us down here in this planet called Earth. That's some power. Well, that's the power that we refer to and in Scripture when we talk about the Almighty. It's some power that is there, it's mighty. And not just some mighty, it's almighty power. That almighty power funds you, gives you everything. I like to say, when you woke up this morning, did you find you were without air? No. Did you have to go stoke up some oxygen and get things going? No. You might have been a little sluggish, didn't get much sleep, but it wasn't because you lacked what you needed for life. For life is God, and life fulfills itself. It doesn't go against itself. It doesn't contradict. It won't give you life and then take from you life, or take from you the means by which to live life fully, full out, abundantly, prosperously, thriving. And so I want you to go forward from this day knowing you're endowed. And you get to rely on this great power, this mighty, almighty power, as you walk through life. And whatever path you find yourself on, know that something is walking within you, walking alongside you, walking in front of you, got your back too. And that something is the power and the presence of the living God that created each and every one of us. So we want to take that into awareness and be grateful for it. Now the next part is, how do we activate that? Because if you have power, like you have electricity, but if you don't turn the switch, you don't have electricity. You have the potential for it if you turn the switch, flip the switch or whatever. But that means you have to do something to activate. So the endowment that you have is power to you, just like electricity to you. And the question is, are you activating that power? Are you doing something, switching things on, switching and changing your mind about what you used to think you lacked? You're not lacking. You're endowed permanently with something. And I remember Dr. King saying in some of his speeches, one of his speeches that stays with me, that is so beautiful. He envisioned a world, and he said on his last speech, almost prophetically, that he had looked over, peered over, and seen the promised land. He said, I may not get there with you, but it's there. He wanted us to realize that it is there, and that we were the ones, we were his beneficiaries. He was leaving us something. Just as Spirit always leads, we're the beneficiaries of Spirit. We're inheriting something that's given to us. to remember that it is not the money or the billions in your pocketbook, but it's the content of your character, which is needed for life to flourish and fulfill itself. And I would say all of you have a beautiful countenance and a beautiful character. And I find you seated here today, radiating that beauty and that character. When you lose sight, and you might, and let me say this, don't ever beat yourself up because you lost sight of who you were and whose you were and what you really had and what your endowments. That's okay. And here's the reason why. We all came to this earth plane to be in school. So when you're in school, what's going to happen? You're gonna learn. Thank you, Ernest. You're going to learn something. Or something's going to learn you. So we're being taught constantly. And what does that mean? For me, it means that we're being asked to expand beyond our little lives. So that whatever is going on, and no matter how good it gets, life can be wonderful. We get up here, we're on a high, I'm full of joy, I'm cool, everything is well, I'm in bliss with my life. And like Frank Sinatra said, you're riding high in April and shut down in May. Well, that shut down is to shoot you up. You won't go higher. I know this is the truth for sure. As soon as things are good, now I'm good. You won't go higher. You won't expand. And you must expand. Why? Because that which is in you, indwells within you, the Spirit of the living God needs expansion and needs us to be portals of expansion. And so when things go wacky, just say, okay, time for expansion. The Spirit is wanting more. But when we start fighting it and resisting it, we get more twisted up in like a tight ball. And we feel overwhelmed and can't find our way out. What I want you to take from this is I'm endowed to deal with this. I'm also empowered. I'm also equipped to do all that Spirit has for me to do, to live out my divine destiny, to hear and see and feel my calling. I have a purpose for being here. I'm not an accident. I didn't just pop out. And it doesn't matter who or what your parents were, you got here. And it wasn't because the condom broke. Keeping it real. You're all here for a purpose. So don't go around. My parents didn't want me. The parent of all parents wanted you here. And made it possible for you to be here. So just sit. Get quiet. Get still. Get in community. Be with you. And I like to say, get on your side. We often get off our side. Beat ourselves up. Find fault with ourselves and then look around and find other people we can find fault with. So when you get on your side, you're siding with the power and the presence that created you. You're siding with the presence that I call your silent partner that walks in you, with you, beside you, behind you, has your back, has your front. You want to get with that, no matter what the circumstances, and make no mistake that the circumstances don't define you, they refine you. Do you understand?
Yes. Yeah.
That just came to me. They don't define me, they refine you.
Yes.
So like a diamond in the rough, that needs to be refined and smoothed out, all the facets. Your life is like that too. You're a diamond. And sometimes you're in the rough and sometimes you're breathing. But when you're in the rough, don't be mad. Just say, I'm going to more brilliance. There are more facets that I need to be in my life so that my brilliance may shine. Say with me, I am empowered.
I am empowered.
I am equipped.
I am equipped.
And I am endowed.
I am endowed.
And give yourselves a hand.
Yes.
I want to thank you all for being here on the 5th anniversary. I want to thank Spirit. But sometimes I don't know what I'm going to say. It's always coming from Spirit. I'm very obedient to Spirit. And I want to bring this part now to